Martin Muses. Welcome to Miss Martin Muses, where we muse upon what makes me laugh, makes me cry, makes me happy, makes me sad, or just really ticks me off. Well, today we're going to once again go through every single one of those emotions as we talk about the third season of Once Upon a Time. And I am, as usual, joined by the lovely My Nerdy Home, Stephanie.
Hello! I'm so excited to talk about this season. It's one of my favorite seasons.
It's probably the best one, in objectively speaking. And then we have Biggles. Hello.
Hi. I'm not at my normal setup. I'm on my phone, so if I sound like crap, I'm sorry. And I also have Once Upon a Time Season 3 on in the background.
Yeah. Yes, there you go. Yeah, he is in an undisclosed location on tour.
And I also have Once Upon a Time.
Wait, I was going to say... we had this whole sound check and everything.
That was my bad.
Yeah. Oh, that was you? Oh, okay. Yeah.
Okay, good.
So it wasn't Biggles' fault. Yeah. Well, we've already talked about season 1, season 2, and now we're talking about season 3. And I call this one Second Chances. I always like to give it a theme, and this one really was about second chances for all the characters in Once Upon a Time. I have something to say about the very last episode concerning that, but we're going to wait until we get there because you want to talk about unbridled rage. Yes, there will be unbridled rage. Yes, there will be Precious. But in this season, this was the first time that they broke up the show into 2 parts. So you have season 3A, where they ran all the episodes back to back, and then they went on a long hiatus and came back in mid-March for 3B, which was another arc that also went back to back. And they would continue with that format for the rest of the show. So 3A is the whole Save Henry arc.
And it's the best part of all of this entire show.
Yes.
Just saying that now.
Yeah. I loved it, and it's when Henry has been kidnapped. He's been sent to Neverland, and on so many different levels, this 3A is probably absolute perfection. And at the time, it was so exciting because we knew that Henry was kidnapped, but it wasn't so much as are they going to save Henry, because of course they're going to save Henry.
Yeah.
But we knew that this was going to be the first time that they all really truly worked together. You're going to have Hook and Emma and Regina and Rumpelstiltskin and Snow and Charming.
Snow gets in the way.
Together. Okay, yeah, Snow does get in the way. Yeah, but we knew that they were going to be working together for the whole Save Henry thing. And it was fun how they even came about to Save Henry. That was our fault. We came up with it first, Once Upon a Fan. It was something that Regina and Lana Perea was doing when she was signing a book that one of them said Save Henry. Or actually, it was the showrunner who did it. Edward Kissis had put like Save Henry in the book, and then when Lana got to it, she was like, yeah, Save Henry, and then we said it on Twitter, that's what it's going to be, Save Henry. Then the next day, Save Henry was the hashtag, and it was from the Ferris Bueller. And it was also Henry's, with the exception of season 1, it was Henry's best season as well.
Well, yeah, season A or part A was, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, part B was a total different ball game. But
hold on.
Well, okay. Oh, I was about ready to ask you a question. So, so going with Stephanie.
Let me help up my dog real quick. I'll be right back.
I hear. Oh gosh, Anna. Well, yeah, that's the one thing. Cats don't bark, but they do disconnect your computer, which has happened occasionally. But just maybe an overall assessment, Stephanie. I didn't know if you wanted to get into some of the things that you're seeing in 3A specifically that you liked, or for maybe you didn't like it the same way we do, but we loved it.
Something that I did, I'm on board with Biggles as far as Snow White goes. Mary Margaret does kind of I don't want to say that she's like she feels like the tag along, but she feels like a tag along.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's totally when she's like, I'm here too, when they're looking at Henry in the mirror, it's like, yeah, she's here too. So I think that she's probably one of the weaker things in the season, but I absolutely love 3A. 3A is probably one of my favorite parts of Once Upon a Time. I love the Peter Pan arc. I love the character of Peter Pan. I love the actor that plays Peter Pan. He's incredibly awesome. I like the spin that they took on it as well. I love that they brought in Tinkerbell. It's probably one of the best arcs that I've seen in the show. And I like the growth with all of the characters, all of them. I love the growth in Neverland. They have so much growth. They come to trust one another. They come to rely on one another. And they come to they overlook a lot of their, I guess, stereotypes. Like, Hook is a pirate. He's not going to be anything but a pirate. He just has no honor, stuff like that. Regina and Emma both have to come to terms with the fact that Henry is both their son. And they say it over and over. We have to save our son. They start to use that saying, our son. He's our son. So you see that co-parenting coming into play as well. So I just love the growth in 3A. 3B we'll talk about, but 3A, yes. I love the growth for all of the characters.
Yeah, I absolutely would agree. And I remember as it was happening, just how much fun it was to watch the show without any frustration. Because even season 1 had some frustrating moments where they kind of were trying to soap opera it or drag things out. I thought that the writing was very tight. And this was the last season where everyone got to do something that seasons 4, 5, and 6 and 7, it was like it went more in favor of just a few characters. But if you were a fan of any of these characters on Once Upon a Time, you got what you wanted out of this season. Yeah,
exactly. Everyone served a purpose. Everyone served a purpose in the seasons. They all pushed each other forward. They pushed all of the characters pushed the plot forward. Whereas you don't really see that a lot, like later on.
No,
they do favor one character over another.
Yeah,
and you do learn that Snow White is a selfish bitch. No, shall I elaborate?
Well, okay, go for it.
All right. So they say, watch out for these arrows. Be careful. They're laced with dream shade, right? What does she do? She doesn't pay attention and almost gets shot by an arrow. David saves her life like a good man should, right? And he almost dies because of it, right? So instead of telling him that he's dying, he wants to keep it on Henry. And Snow White gets so mad at him. Like, you didn't tell me. It's all about me. Right? Bitch, he almost died for saving your dumb ass. He should have just let you die.
There are a lot of times where she does turn many, many situations into
all about her.
All about her. Yeah.
Like, she's trying to help Emma, and she's like, but you have to listen to me. I'm the only one who knows. And Emma's just like, bitch, we're the same age. Like, shut the fuck up.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah. Well, and also, this is where her inability to keep a secret, it's like they're almost self-aware that Snow just can't keep a secret and ruins everything. She just blurts things out.
Yeah.
And they're
Worst
like, no.
character ever written.
Well,
even worsely written than Ray. Okay.
Oh no.
No, 100%. I am right.
Oh well, somebody is a know-it-all here.
Yes, I am.
Well, as far as again, just the way it's the perfect season. I knew that we were in for a treat when, like, the first few minutes, they totally demolish, destroy, and send into hell Tamara. What's his face?
Greg's still alive. Greg's still alive.
Oh, he just lost his shadow or whatever?
Yeah, they ripped off his shadow, and then when Pan was defeated, Blue got her shadow back, which means Greg got his shadow back.
No, he didn't. He never got his shadow back. But you know what? I don't care. The point is he was
did,
gone.
though. No, Blue said when Pan was defeated, that everyone got their shadows back, right? So that means Greg got his shadow back.
Well, okay, but how's this?
But his body has been rotting there.
Yeah.
So?
Well, but we never see him again, and that's the real important part. So
yes.
They started off with, those two people that practically ruined the second half of season 2. They're dead. And I'll swear, when Rumpelstiltskin takes Tamara and rips her heart and crushes it, I'm like, yes!
That was badass.
Yeah, well, because she basically admitted she murdered his son, and he just goes, oh, that was beautiful.
That's a good scene.
Yeah, that is a good scene. And
that's a good scene.
And it's almost redundant.
You see the fear in her eyes. Like, that's a really good scene.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, bitch. Welcome to karma. Yeah, but that was a great way to start it off. And Robbie K playing Peter Pan. Oh gosh, he was so good. Like when he and Henry go and fly, I must admit I was kind of, it's so magical. And even though I knew that he was going to be Peter Pan, the reveal when Henry realizes that he is Fucked, and then you just see Peter Pan go from being this scared guy who was helping Henry to just his eyes are like, I'm evil.
Robbie K played it so well.
Yes.
He played it. And can I say, his costume was amazing. Costume department did great.
Yeah, Eduardo knew
on Peter Pan and Tinkerbell. Like all the costumes were so good in the season. I loved Robbie K as Peter Pan. He played him so well. I can't imagine any other actor taking on that role. Like he looks like a child. He looks so young. He's so vindictive, but he also plays like the part of like this scared child really, really well. Like he does such a good job in the role. He's so manipulative. Yeah. It's fantastic.
And then of course, in his eyes, also the old man that we find out he truly is.
I gotta say, because me and Biggles didn't start watching until later, so I was binging it. I didn't see that coming, so I was like, when that happened, I was like, this show is so good. That's why I love this season.
Yeah, it really was. Yeah, you didn't see it coming, but then you realize, how could I not have seen it coming? Yeah. And then you go back and watch it, and you just realize the dynamics, especially with Rumpelstiltskin, the way when he's talking about how he fears him and all that, you realize, oh my gosh, all along he's been talking about a kid that's afraid of his father.
Yeah, see, I didn't get that. I figured like Pan killed his dad or something. Yeah. That's what I thought. I was like, well, maybe he killed him when he was younger. That's what I was thinking. When it turned from like the old man into Pan, I was like, dude, this show is good.
Well, and how terrible he abandoned his son so that he could. Yeah, that cute little Scottish boy who played young Rumpelstiltskin.
I know, the little that played him was so cute.
Yeah,
not as cute as Roland.
Oh well, no one's cuter than him. Okay, well, yeah, I was gonna say, Biggles, you were wanting to say something.
So I watched Peter Pan for the first time in like 30-something years, maybe. Probably haven't seen it since I was like 2. And Pan's the bad guy in that movie. If you watch it, like him and the Wasp Boys are just like, oh, we want to go fight everybody, right? And he kidnaps Wendy because he wants her to tell him stories. So he's constant. He's like a selfish character, always thinking about himself. Is okay with getting in fights and stuff, right? Mm-hmm. He's the same character. He's the same character. And like most people write him as the good guy. Like they all tell he's the good guy because they watched the movie Hook with Robin Williams.
Yeah, exactly. Now, I've never read the books, but from what I understand, the books, that was more like the way Peter Pan was.
That-
That he really was evil that way.
Yeah, see, I never read them either.
Yeah.
I just went by like the Disney movie and then Hook.
Yeah. But definitely there was a selfishness about him.
Oh, hold on.
Yeah. Oh, Genevieve. Hello, Genevieve. Yay. Hi, everyone. I love the background of Neverland. I wonder how long did it take to set the plans for each scene? Yeah. They were in set, and I think they did a lot where they used a lot of clever angles and different shots to make it look like they were in different places on the Neverland. But
Yeah, Neverland was awesome.
yeah. And what a villain. I mean, he's definitely one of the best villains. And to go back to Robbie K, this kid, he was like 17. He was the equivalent of a senior in high school, the British, final year. And he spent his last year of schooling on set with Once Upon a Time, with the tutors. And to think that someone that young could do something that daunting, that it was really pretty amazing. Oh gosh. Well, and another theme that we see in this series, second chances, we're going to get there in a second, but the parents and the children, because you have Neil, he meets up with hot Robin Hood. Oh my gosh, I am so in love with that man, Sean McGuire.
Oh, Sean McGuire, yeah.
So
Yeah.
is Sean McGuire or Tom Ellis the hotter Robin Hood?
Oh, well, the hotter Robin Hood, it would have to be Sean McGuire. But also remember, he got actually to really play him. Ellis is on a hotness on a whole other level, but he was a guest star in that. But definitely,
Well, he was
Sean
Robin
McGuire.
Hood for like 10 lines.
Yes, but we find out when we see Robin Hood that he is widowed now, or widowered, and he has such a love and protection for his little baby Roland. And we see Roland, how cute he is, and he's trying to protect him. And then Neil's like, yes, I'm trying to get back with my son Henry. And he also reveals that Rumpelstiltskin is his father, and McGuire's like, huh, or Robin Hood. And
Who would claim to be something if not, or that if they're not?
Well, as Mario say, is like nobody would make that up because they would be dead if they were going to try to impersonate being the son of Rumpelstiltskin. And he still pretty much hates his father at this point. He hasn't forgiven him one little bit for what he's done. So we have that complexity. And then meanwhile, in the island, you have Emma coming to terms with some issues she has with her parents, because she's realizing that having lost Henry, or perhaps losing Henry forever, and meeting the Lost Boys and all that, and she realizes that she's like a lost girl. That's the way she's been her whole life.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, there's such a great scene with her and Charming, and Snow was okay in that scene, but of course Charming's awesome.
Yeah, because
I don't think Snow was okay with that. She once again made it all about herself because she didn't know how to comfort her own daughter. I'm just saying.
She at least admitted that she left Emma as an orphan. She's like, you're an orphan because I'm scum.
Yes.
Oh.
You see what he said, yes. And of course, anything that Charming does is perfection. So that's just without saying. And they have to come to terms with that. And then, of course, as you've already said, Steph, Emma and Regina realizing that they're the two mommies now to Henry. Yeah. And I think, is there any other father? I think that's all of them from this thing. But
well, there was Mr. Darling. He was the father.
Oh, Wendy. Oh, yes, his father. Yeah, of Wendy and all that. Oh, yeah, and Wendy's up in a cage the whole time.
Yeah,
that sucks to be her. She was,
like,
and of course, the most messed up father-son thing of all is Peter Pan with Rumpelstiltskin.
Yeah.
And so, Steph, I didn't know.
Yeah, Peter Pan and Rumpelstiltskin, and then I want to throw in Liam and Killian, because they essentially only have each other as well.
But they're not father and son, okay?
Yes, but they're all each other has. So
They're orphans. They're orphans. I've got a lot to say about that episode. Good form.
Good for him.
Oh boy, but yeah. So I didn't know if either of you wanted to just throw out your thoughts about the way they developed that in this season,
The father-son thing.
or parent-child, because it was everybody.
Okay. I was very much against Neil. I didn't like Neil in this season.
Huh.
And the reason why, when he gets back to save his son, right? He runs into his father. And his father straight up attacks him and goes, "You're just an illusion. You're just an illusion. I will sacrifice myself for Henry. There's nothing." And he says, "Thanks, Papa." And then he's like, "Oh, no, you're just trying to kill him because Pan said you were." And and Neil has dealt with Pan. He knows Pan's a liar. He knows all this stuff. And he trusts Pan over his own father. No, I don't like you anymore, Neil. I don't care that you're mad at him for leaving you. He's apologized over and over and over again. And then when he or I guess in part B too, he tries to get his father back just so he can get his son. And his father sacrificed himself for him, right? He wouldn't even let his father's sacrifice go be worth it, right? He had to go and try to get his father back.
Neil's relationship with Rumple is definitely complicated, and yes, in 3B, I think that was unnecessary. It was just another way of bringing Robbie K back. I'm sorry, not Robbie K. Rumpelstiltskin back. Because there's a definite hole when he's not there. He's definitely missing. He's a integral part of Once Upon a Time. You have to have him back, and this was just a way of bringing him back. But the way they brought him back, I really didn't like it. And I agree with you, Biggles, where he's just like, "I trust you. I don't trust you. You're going to betray me. Oh no, Papa, you're gonna die. Oh no, I love you. I'm sorry." And then Neil dies, and Rumple's dealing with that loss, and then he sees Neil, and he's just like, "You're an illusion," because Pan's essentially been playing tricks on Rumple this whole time. And then once again, we're back at Neil not trusting his dad again. It's like they kind of played his arc over. You know what I mean? I thought it was finished. I thought they were going to move on once he saw how much he sacrificed for Neil.
Yeah, and there was no and you're right. There was no reason for Neil to trust Pan over Rumple. It's the idea that Rumple would have done all of that just to kill Henry. It's no, or maybe he's doing it to save Henry, you dumbass.
Yeah, so I did not like Neil.
I like that. I do like that Rumple had come to a point in his life where he was ready to die. He was ready to sacrifice himself because he really didn't think that there was anything left for him. The whole time he was trying to get Neil back, and he died. Or at least he thought he died, right? He thought he died. So he's ready to sacrifice his life for Henry, because that's basically all he has left. That's Neil's son. I'm gonna die for Neil's son. So he's ready to die. And I don't like how they flip-flopped Rumple and Balefire over and over. They just kind of okay, I'm ready to die. Well, maybe not. Okay, I do trust you, Papa. Maybe not. So
and it made him come off like a dick.
Yeah.
Yes. And then he came off more as a dick when he was jealous that Swan and Hook kissed. He's like, "You're just trying to impress Emma." Shut up, Neil.
Oh, that part was a little.
Yeah, I thought
it's so funny. Hook's trying to light the lighter.
I like how they just go back and forth. They're like, "Give me it, give me it, give me it, give me it."
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
That part was just like, "Oh my god, come on!" And Emma was right in that moment. She's like, "Are we really doing this right now? Seriously." They're in Dark Hollow, but I laughed at that part because they they see each other as a threat, but like there's a bigger picture here and you're losing it.
Yeah, it was a little bit of comic relief, but I do hear you. And speaking of which, that was a father-son thing we totally forgot because Neil was in a way Hook's stepson.
That's true.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That is
Gosh,
true.
that's effed up when you think about it all.
I like when Mila brings it up later.
Oh yeah, when they're in the underworld, and then Henry's like, "What is it?
Yeah.
Not Henry? Rumpelstiltskin's like, hey Emma, meet or Mila, meet the woman who slept with your son, your father, your uncle's nephew,
Yeah,
cousin's
that's
former
funny.
roommate, something like that."
Fuck everyone you know.
Yeah. Oh, Genevieve, spoilers are long gone. The show was 10 years ago. You can spoil all you want. I was thinking that
We're
Bay
just
would
reminiscing.
reunite with the last season. Yeah, I like to think that when Belle and Rumple go off to heaven together, that Balefire would be waiting. I almost wish that they'd have said that. Like that after they kissed and she's like, Balefire's waiting. He can't wait to see you or something. I thought that would have been pretty cool.
Mhm.
Like then they wouldn't have had to have brought back the actor for that. Yeah. Yeah, it was a little it was a little much. I definitely hear you there. But by this point they knew they were going to kill him off, so I think that they just wanted to get to that point.
I love
I
Charlie
wonder,
in this one.
was he ever, because we came into it a little later, was Balefire, was he a fan favorite?
Yes. Oh yeah, he had big fans and people that wanted Emma and him to get together eventually. I'm of the personal belief that was the original plan, because the way the actors were talking about it, I think that was where they were going, and then the chemistry, I think, with Hook happened, and that's why sometimes people feel very bitter. Alex actually said Neil died so that Captain Swan could exist. Yeah, because people did like Neil, and I know people that completely quit watching when Neil died, and it wasn't just because they liked Neil, but the whole reason for a lot of Once Upon a Time up to that point was around Neil Balefire and what he meant to the whole overall story. Like with Rumpelstiltskin, like that's the reason why he wanted to cast the curse. That's the reason why all of this was happening. And then he just dies, and the actors weren't very happy either. And
Really?
oh no! Well, because that's not what they were sold. They were sold is this going to be a father-son thing and a redemption thing, and then they killed him. And toward the right after the season 7, the actors were pretty honest about some of the things that they were very disappointed in. And Robert Carlyle and himself, Michael, whatever his name is, the guy, Michael Raymond James, the guy who played him, they talked about that and how it was disappointing. And the actor who played Neil, he got very emotional and he started to cry. I mean, these people really cared about these characters that they were playing, and it was very important to Robert Carlyle to have that redemption with the son. So he wasn't very happy at all. Well, and they also at that same convention had a lot to say about what they did with Belle and the Evil Queen and all that in that final season, which frankly, that's what killed Once Upon a Time. So many people quit watching at that point, and even the actors were just disgusted that they went that direction with
the final season. I kind of like.
No, the final season. When I say the final season, I'm talking about season 6, because in a way that's the final season when they basically had Rumpelstiltskin screwing the Evil Queen. That
was creepy.
Talk about like betraying everything that they had done, and it was very I mean, because it was very hurtful for these people, because they were very moved and very invested in a lot of these characters. I'll probably talk about that a little bit more, but this is all public. But we though thought it was hilarious. We're like, oh my god, they finally said it out loud, because we suspected it, but after after they killed Neil, there was a lot of disappointment. And then they had told Robert Carlyle that he was going to do a lot of stuff with Henry, and that didn't come to be. And
Henry was like his
grandson.
His grandson, but he was also, remember because Henry never trusted Rumpel. Even like when he was his apprentice in the shop.
But this was before. You see, understand that they were going to go in a direction differently. And if you watch season 3, everything was kind of coming full circle, and then they made some decisions, and they'd even filmed some scenes that came up as deleted scenes. So when you see Robert Carlyle did an interview with one of our reporters, and he said, he was like, oh yeah, there's going to be some really, really good stuff with me and Henry. And they cut it, and then they went a completely different direction.
Yeah, because they went to that's right, they did.
Frothing at the mouth, Rumpelstiltskin. I'm evil. And
in season 3B or season 4?
It was season 4. No, because and they actually had filmed some early scenes in 4A that were very good between Rumpelstiltskin and Henry, and they decided, no, we're just going to make him evil, I guess. So they cut that. So even that was kind of, it really was very, very disappointing, because understand that we were really invested in these relationships and in these characters. And you'll see it also in the interviews that they would do about it. And the whole father-son relationship was very personal to Robert Carlyle. Again, he's been public about this because of, he had a very special, sometimes contentious relationship with his own father, a single father and all of that. So when they killed Neil off, that really left people with a bad feeling. And for me, I was like, okay, I think I can live with this. And then, of course, all that stuff happened with at the end of season 3, that I was like, okay, I don't know where they're going with this, but it's they changed the shift of the show. I know that's a very long way of answering the question. Oh my gosh, there's puppies now. Oh my gosh.
They might not let me talk.
Oh look, he wants a head scratch.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh, that white one's beautiful.
Puppies.
They're hanging in my butt.
Oh, no. Love them. Oh yeah, and speaking of Robert Carlyle, I mean, what a guy. Genevieve, this is not a secret because it was on social media. Every time Genevieve would go up and visit Storybrooke, Robert Carlyle would always go over, and many of them would too, and they'd say hi to her and all that. They were very kind, very generous, and they did enjoy meeting the fans when they would come to visit. And so there's very many lovely pictures on social media of him with Genevieve, and he was awesome. Yeah. We love our Robert Carlyle here. That man can do nothing wrong.
He's really good too.
Yes. And he's a damn good actor as well.
Yeah.
I don't know. Did you get a chance, Genevieve, to meet Michael Raymond? Let me know. I know that you got to meet a lot of the other ones when you were up there, but they very good people, and they were always very good with the fans. But
so back to the parents situation. I really liked Charming in this one, right?
Yes.
So
hell yeah, yes.
I don't know if he was as good in season or part A as he was in 2, because I still think 2 is his best season. But all he wanted to do was save Henry and be there for Emma by helping her get her son. And he does all this stuff while poisoned, which, to be honest, Regina could have took out his heart and he never would have died from the dream shade anyways, because it never would have reached his heart. But had he told them,
there you go. Okay.
They could have loophole that and just been like, he's not dying to dream shade, never getting to your heart. I have his heart. Here you go, Snow. Right? Because Snow has his heart.
Yeah. Right? But if they ever put his heart back in,
whatever, you find out in season B, you can still feel.
Yeah, but I'll tell you what,
No,
though.
you can't though, because
No,
remember.
you can. I just had the episode on.
Yeah, but remember when Regina's mom's heart got put back in her chest?
Yeah, and they retconned it in 3B.
They didn't retcon it. She was
Yes,
just like,
they did.
she
She's
said
like, you can still feel
just
it,
not
just doesn't
whole.
hurt as much.
She said
So
you can
if they
feel,
are the
but not
truest love,
fully.
no,
You
if
can't
they are the
fully
truest
feel.
love,
You don't have all of your complete and whole feelings. You're not
yeah,
whole.
but if they still are the truest of all true love, even without his heart, he'd be fine. And you want to know how I know that? They rip out his freaking heart and they split it in two.
They rip out
Or
Snow's
they
heart.
rip out Snow's heart. And the funny thing is, in B, Galinda or whatever her name is, the hottie hot of the North, she she's like or pure of heart, she will not hide, right? Is what it is. But Snow's not pure of heart. We learned that after she killed Korra. She's got darkness in her heart. Retcon that too.
Well, the plot holes are going to start. I will definitely give you that. But there was definitely a bit of a difference, though, with Korra, because Korra, like,
never had a heart.
Yeah.
When I read that, I thought like maybe like their intentions are noble, whereas, because Snow was like, her heart is like has a speck of darkness in it, but her intentions are still noble. She's still good. The darkness hasn't spread. Like Regina's heart is almost black, like it's shriveled. It compared to Snow's, her heart is like shriveled. It's like a shriveled apple. But with Snow, her intentions are good. She's still hopeful. Whereas when they go through that, this is like in B, so we're straying off course, Biggles. Whereas
I'm sorry,
Regina,
I just have to point stuff out.
Regina has been like doubting the whole trip, the whole trek. And she's just like, oh, whatever. This is so dumb. Oh, whatever she calls it, I can't remember. And then she kind of walks through and she doesn't make it through. So there's no pure intentions. Snow White is still technically pure.
Had just Charming been allowed to go through that door, I would have thought it was the greatest scene of all of Once Upon a Time. I would have been like, get Snow, you deserved it.
Yeah, but to go back to
the fathers and sons.
But back to Charming.
I mean, you're exactly right. The fact that Charming, he was so paternal again, and to both Henry and also to Emma. And since we had that development in season 2, where you saw that he really was almost a father figure to Henry when everyone was gone, and that he was there to support Emma, and that he was very selfless while he was going through that whole I'm poisoned.
And that's why Hook's the best character, because he saved his life. It was like, listen, mate, we have to go here. There's a sexton and we'll be able to find our way out. And he's like, no, I lied to you. I'm just trying to save your life.
All right. Now going a little bit deeper into that episode, but I like the mirror of Hook and his brother and Charming and his brother. Both of their brothers are just like the other, and I like how they mentioned that too. Like, you would have loved my brother. He was a thief and a liar. He's like, yeah, you would have loved mine. He's a stubborn ass. Like, they're essentially each other's brothers. And I really like that. I like that with their relationship moving forward. I like that Hook gave him, another chance, and he took it, and he's stubborn, and all he wanted to do was save his family, but he wouldn't leave. So Hook has to trick him to get him to go up there. And I like that Hook doesn't take Pan's deal either. You really think that he will when he like wipes his nose with his hook and everything, and you really think that he's going to double cross them. But he
no, not if you actually pay attention. He wanted Emma so bad. There's no way he's going to kill her father.
No, that too. But
I can't blame the man either.
I mean, and understand, I am not necessarily one that bows down at the altar of Hook, but I will defend Hook on this one. He kind of did it because he wanted Emma, and he kind of even made a joke about it. But deep down, I think he's genuinely becoming fond of these people.
He is. I think he is. And I think that he does see a lot of Liam in David.
Yes.
I really, really do. And I think that's why in this episode they show his relationship with his brother. They show that he's just like David. He's like, no, we can't he just believes everything. He doesn't doubt anything. He's a believer. He doesn't think that, the king, he's essentially like he's so noble. He's so noble that he's stubborn. And that's how David is. And I really think that he's growing fond of David because he sees Liam in David. And that's something that like Pan doesn't get. He doesn't understand because he's the type of person that would sacrifice his son for youth.
Yes. And it's completely the other way around. I mean, Good Form was a tour de force on so many different levels.
And the best episode of all of Once Upon a Time.
Yeah. I can agree that people who feel that way, because it was perfect, and it was probably the best work that Colin O'Donoghue did. I mean, he's done a lot of great things, but that was his episode, the same way like Skin Deep is the episode for Rumpelstiltskin and Belle. It was amazing, and I'll probably talk about it more. I mean, spoiler alert, obviously it's my favorite episode of the season. It was probably actually the last truly perfect and great episode of the entire season. I mean, where it just everything about it just blew your socks off.
I think the Jolly Roger episode can rival it as well. I thought that was a really good episode too, and I just watched it like 10 minutes before this.
Well, it's good, but what you have going on here, it's just the depth of what you see with Hook,
how he becomes the pirate and everything.
How he becomes a pirate, and his love for his country, if you will, the not Britain, because obviously it was a fictional kind of Britain, and his love for his brother and losing his brother. And as you're saying, the parallels with what's going on with him and David with Charming, and just the way it ends with him doing that big speech and then the Hook theme and everything. It was really good. And I like episodes of Once Upon a Time that aren't just like for one character. Like this one, almost everyone's shown in that, those that were a part of it. And of course you have the whole thing with Emma and Hook's first kiss.
Dun dun dun.
Yeah, I mean that was one heck of a first kiss.
Like, oof.
And I understand by this point I was still rooting for Neil and Emma, but you just had to just hand it to him. It's like that was an amazing first kiss.
Oh yeah.
I wanted Neil to live, and Hook still wins Emma's heart. That's what I wanted. I wanted him to be like, "I'm sorry," basically, my stepson.
Well, they actually could have done that, to be honest, and then it would have been a great thing about stepfathers, stepsons, all that kind of a thing. But they didn't want to go that deep. And another episode, which is foreshadowing what happens with 3B, is the whole Quite a Common Fairy, where Tinkerbell is saying, "Hey, your true love's gonna be here," and some dude with this tattoo.
Lion
tattoo. I like how she says tattoo. She's Australian, isn't she? I love how she says tattoo.
Yeah.
The man with the lion tattoo.
And she was so cute too, by the way, as Tinkerbell.
Another great casting was her. She played the main role in iZombie.
I was ready to say,
yeah. I loved her as Tinkerbell. I loved her costume too. How it's not bright and green. You find out why, but like it's not bright and green. She's been stranded on this island. She lost her wings, and she doesn't have any.
She was so broken. Yeah, and it was so terrible.
Broken.
Blue was Blue was horrible. That was when we were still of the theory. Okay, she is the true villain of Once Upon a Time.
Yeah,
because what she did to Tinkerbell was unforgivable almost.
When they ripped out her shadow, I cheered.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie, I kind of laughed after Tink lost her wings and like you saw her hit the ground and bounce.
Oh no.
I I laughed a little bit. I didn't want to, but I did.
Oh
Um,
no.
and also, I don't understand why Tink's a fairy, because in Peter Pan, she's a pixie.
Well, yeah, they took some liberties
Liberty.
with that. But also while Regina is reliving those moments when she didn't go into the tavern to meet her true love, she it's just reminding you, first of all, of what her true love, her first true love, the stable boy Daniel had said to her, is like, love again. And I was like, oh yeah, that was a thing that he wanted her to love again. And she and Rumpelstiltskin had a kind of cool conversation where he's trying to get a message to Belle, or Belle's getting a message to him using Ariel, the mermaid.
Yeah.
And he just says something, and then he has this look on his face, and then finally Regina just goes, "You really love her," and that's the first time that she realizes that he really loves Belle. I think before maybe she thought, I don't know, he wanted to possess her or whatever, but and she's like almost astonished, and he's just like, yes, does that bother you so much? And he just kind of looks at her like, what planet are you living on? And he's like, or is it because you haven't? And you're seeing that she's starting to melt a little bit. And we all know that they're preparing for Robin Hood to come in the next season, because by this point we all knew that he was going to be the love interest, because we saw that he had the tattoo.
Yeah.
But the way that they're preparing us for that kind of a second chance, everyone's getting second chance with their children, but also getting some second chances in love later in life. I mean, I was about to say, don't we all experience that? But you're too young, Biggles, so forget it.
For what, love?
No, second chance. Okay, you got different stages of your life. You've got the your true loves or whatever in your 20s, and then you hit your 40s, and you realize you can love again. Just that kind of a thing. You're thinking, I'll never love the way I love.
I don't know. I've never had a true love once, so we're good.
Okay, you're probably happier for it because it breaks your heart. But on the other hand, what is it? It's better. I'm just saying that that's something that someone can relate to, because these characters, they're finding also that your first love is not necessarily going to be the only love in your life that you can love. There's many people that you can love, and the fact that Regina, it wasn't even on her radar since Daniel died. And you see her start to warm up to that. And then the idea, she was just like, Rumple, you really love her. So I liked that as well. And of course, it all comes to this really big climax where they're all in Storybrooke. And when they're there, and then Rumple makes the ultimate sacrifice, where he sacrifices his life for everybody, and not just for Henry, and not just for Neil, but for the entire town, and
in front of everybody, and while they're all frozen, so they can't do anything about it. It's so good.
oh yeah, I mean, I'll tell you what,
so good.
I bawled so hard, and he gets a chance to tell Neil how much he loved him, and tells Belle how much he loves him. And that's why I got pissed off when, like, in the later seasons, they were like, he's never done anything but think of himself. I'm like, hello, did you see the season finale of 3A? It's like, we all saw it. He killed himself. And then he's like, you made me strong. And then he just, hello, Papa.
Hello, Papa.
Yeah,
I love how he says that too. Hello.
He sacrifices himself for everybody.
It's so good.
Oh, it was
how
so good.
Yeah, it's done so well. How nobody can do anything about it, and it's done in front of all of the characters, all of them. They're all standing there, and you see the pain in like Belle's face and everything, and
oh gosh, it was murder. Yeah, it was terrible.
I like how Neil is like, don't let his death be in vain. Don't let him die for nothing. Don't let him die for nothing.
Yeah. And I'm probably like,
and then he let him die for nothing when he brought him back.
He kind of
that's a different story.
But that's straight from there. You get Regina having to sacrifice the love of her life at this point in time, which is Henry.
Oh gosh, and when she had to let him go, and realized not only was she going to lose him, but he was going to lose all memory of her.
Mhm.
And he said, "You're not a villain. You're my mom." And we're all because she was like, villains don't get happy endings. And then you see all of it, and then you see Storybook get destroyed, and they all get whisked back, and then Emma and Henry are just going along. They totally forget everybody.
Yeah.
Oh, that episode
That
was
part
so
is
good.
heart-wrenching.
Mm-hmm.
It's heart-wrenching. Definitely cried at that moment.
Yeah, that was
No,
probably the
I
best
didn't cry so
finale.
much when Rumpel sacrificed himself. I thought that was really good. But
Mhm.
when Regina had to do what she did,
Yeah.
that part was so sad, especially when she started to explain that they're going to when she explained it to Emma,
Mm-hmm.
she's like, "This is my gift to you."
Oh,
When
I showed
you'll never have given him up. You'll have this life with him. And she's doing all of that for Henry, and it has to be so hard for her to do that because she's been fighting for so long
mm-hmm.
to have Henry, I mean, seriously, like since he was a baby, because he was like, he'd cry all the time.
Yeah.
It was like he knew that this isn't my mom, and she was kind of like constantly trying to she cast a spell on herself. So for her son, when he was a baby. And so it was like, for her to have to do that, it must have been so hard, and
Yeah. It was hard for us to
be
watch it.
and to be
I showed no
fighting with
emotion during
Emma,
that scene.
for so long, finally getting to a place where they accept that they're essentially co-parenting their
Mhm.
son, but then having to give her son back to the woman who gave him up, and
Mhm.
like give them this beautiful memory and make them think that like she never gave him up in the first place, all for Henry. And like even when Emma's like, but it won't be real, and
Oh,
because even Emma knows, like, this is wrong. This is wrong.
yeah.
Even she knows that this is wrong, but she does it anyways so that they won't be alone. The ending is gut wrenching.
Yeah. Well, and then of course, Snow White and Charming
Yeah.
have to give up their daughter, as well as, well, when Hook says goodbye to her, what it was that it was like, I for, I forget what he said. It was really funny. It was so funny.
He says, not a day will go by that I won't think of you.
Oh, yeah, okay, that one wasn't funny. It was what he said before when he was like, if I need to prepare my soul, it's gonna take a long time, so we need to figure this out.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, how long do we have? Yeah, and then you're right, he says there won't be a day. And even, Neil, saying goodbye to them all, and because he is part of the Enchanted Force, he will be going back, so.
But he could have went with them. And I can tell you why. If Emma can leave, he can leave.
Constantly pointing out all of these plot holes.
Yeah, well, no, he could leave if Emma could leave. He wasn't part of the curse. He was there way before Emma was, and he traveled there. So he wasn't part of the curse, so he could have went with Emma and Henry. Also, I would like to comment on Alex's comment. My true love is not Mary Margaret. If anyone, it would be Ruby. Thank you.
Oh, well, there you go. Yeah. And then the time between season 3A and 3B, we had 3 months to go insane, wondering what was going to happen. And we also knew that the stuff with Robin Hood and Regina was going to heat up, that they were going to finally meet. So in the season premiere of 3B, when we the whole Wicked storyline starts, it was Regina meets Robin Hood because was it Snow and her are being attacked by some flying monkeys, and then you just hear him go, "Get down," and he shoots them with an arrow, and then she says, And then Snow White is saying, "Hey, he's kind of cute, isn't he?" And she's like, "He smells like forest." That was the
Yeah,
best
he
line
smells
ever.
like
Yeah,
forest.
I love
I loved
Regina.
it.
I love it. He smells like forest. One of my favorite lines that Regina tells Robin Hood is, and she's so smug when she says it to her chin's up in the air, and she's like, "Where you come from, people bathe in the river and use pine
Pine-
cones for money."
That's right. Yeah, that was
That's
another
so.
good one.
But
That is
the
one of
best
my
line,
favorite lines.
I think the best line in all of in all of season 3 is actually Hook to Peter Pan to Hook. Hook's like, I think finally Emma's seeing me for what I truly am. And Peter Pan's like a one-handed pirate with a drinking problem.
Yeah. Well, and there was also, if we're talking about that line, the one moment where they're all sharing the rum, and then Regina just goes, "I don't do rum."
I don't do rum.
Yeah, that's a good one. But I loved the romance with Regina and Robin Hood again, because the whole theme of second chances. He was feeling guilty that he had inadvertently somehow brought Marion's death about, and that left his son without a mother. And right away you see Regina being very maternal toward
Yeah.
Roland, partly because she had just lost her own son and she had that sadness upon her. And also he's just so daggone cute.
Oh, I love Roland.
Oh
Like
gosh,
the cutest kid ever. Those dimples.
yeah. And when
He's
she
I'll be right
saves
back.
him, when she saves him from the flying monkey and then turns it into a little stuffed animal,
Yeah.
I mean, that was good. And then of course Robin Hood, he says that really good line to Regina, because they start to get to know each other as they're going into this castle. They share a lot of stuff about their different pains and all that. And then he
Mhm.
realizes wants to put this curse upon herself. She was going to put herself into the sleeping curse. And she was like, "Well, there's only one person who can wake me up out of it. And that's Henry. And he's going to be the only, I don't want to be awake until he's there." And he goes, "No, it's like, everyone gets a second chance, Regina. You just have to have the courage to see it, that she could still go on."
Mhm.
So good. So everything about their romance was good. And then when they meet each other in Storybrooke, and they kind of almost immediately have the hots for each other, and then she sees him with the lion tattoo. And then she runs
Yeah.
away because she was like, "Oh my gosh, this guy who I'm very, very attracted to is this guy." And
I like
then
how their relationship in the Enchanted Forest is complicated, but they immediately get along in Storybook.
in the Storybrooke, yeah, because deep down they were attracted to each other as hell. They almost had this
Yeah.
Hanzo Princess Leia thing going on, like hating
Yeah.
each other, love-hate relationship. And
Well, the princesses always love the thieves.
well, yeah, but yeah, they always like the bad boys. And what was it? Oh, when they finally kissed for the first time, because she went ahead and gave him her heart
Her heart.
because she was going to be confronting her sister Zelena. And then because Zelena wanted to tear out her heart, and she's like, "Never bring your heart to a witch fight." And
Oh, that's a really good line too. She's like, she would have taught you that too if she hadn't abandoned you. As she's getting her butt kicked. She's getting her butt kicked, and she still throws the She still throws the heat right there.
you can say that. I've given up because
Because I say it all the time.
no, it's usually Stieg, because I'll be like, F this, and he goes, "Oh, you were trying to say fuck," and I'm like, whatever, I give up.
You swore.
I do. I try not to. I try to be a good girl, but this COVID thing has just thrown
Oh, look, they're
any
kissing.
sense of dignity I used to have about myself
Yep.
out the window.
They were kissing.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's such a great scene when they're by the fire having the picnic. Yeah, but their first kiss was so good.
Well, I'm past that again. But this is like the fourth rewatch before this one. I figured we'd talk way more about part A, but whatever.
Yeah, well, the thing is that she takes his when he loses the heart, because they were going to kill Roland, and and he's like, I'm really sorry. I promise you, I'm gonna get your heart back. And she just grabs him and kisses him, and he's like, what the hell? And he's like, oh, okay. And then he kisses her back. That's one of the best episodes.
And then they're kissing, and Henry walks in.
Oh yeah, and he sees him, and he doesn't realize. And then later, he's like, who were you kissing, Mom? When he gets his memories back. But let's talk about season 2. So we went ahead and we had the curse, but suddenly they're back in Storybrooke, but we don't know how. But they know that time has passed because Snow's
super pregnant.
And she's pregnant in real life.
Was it Charming's kid?
Oh yeah. They totally hooked up. Yeah, and they ended up getting married right before the baby was born. Yeah, they hooked up right away. Right when they started filming.
Wasn't he still married though?
Yes, he was. But
Charming's not so charming, I guess.
I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, he was married. Bunch of cheaters.
To someone else on Broadway? I'll look it up later. I'll look it up later.
Yeah, she was a chick from Sherlock Holmes, the Sherlock Holmes TV series. She actually was really pretty. She was a Brit. But obviously when he was sleeping with another woman, yeah, they got divorced over it, and she did get pregnant, and they got married. They're still married, and they had 2 children. But yeah, she was 1 year on, so that's how they knew that time had passed, that it wasn't something that was instantaneous. And of course, who other than Zelena, who I liked Zelena in 3B, and I love Rebecca Mader. I think she was awesome as Zelena, the long lost sister of Regina. Biggles, I didn't know if you wanted to say a little bit. Tell us a little bit about Zelena.
So Zelena's pretty awesome, right? Very, very envious. You can tell by her green skin that she's very envious.
Green with envy.
Yes. And they bring that up, that she has this envy problem, and that's why her skin turns green, because it's a magical world, so that will happen. That doesn't actually happen in real life, but this is a good show, so it happens. And she's just like awesome throughout the whole thing. And the fact that Snow White does not realize that she is the new person in town, there's a new curse, and she's just like, she knows Johanna. And she's like, yes, I'm manipulating the dumb woman right here. Very easy to manipulate. Very dumb.
Yeah, the fact that Snow just like, oh,
so
you're a
stupid.
midwife. Okay. I'll take help, whatever. And like all Zelena had to do was compliment her and call her like royalty. I mean, someone so popular, and Snow was like, "Come sit with me and have my baby."
Yeah, and it's like this weird woman who looks like a witch.
I've never seen you in Storybrooke before. Oh, I didn't get carried over with the first curse. Okay, nobody knows you.
The hell out of Snow White. She controlled Rumple and was like, I don't care. I got your dagger. She controlled Neil. She's like, you're dumb. You're just like your father. You only want to get back to your son. So I'm going to take advantage of that. And Belle is like, Neil, don't do it. He's like, I need my father back. Boom. And Rumple's like, Rumple Bumple don't live here no more. That's my favorite. I love crazy Rumple when he has Neil inside of him. I think that's the best Rumple of all, right?
I mean, of course, the acting was so good, and how Belle was so sad seeing him like that.
Yeah,
and how he was so afraid he was going to kill her. Oh, it's so terrible because he's being controlled by Zelena because she has the dagger.
So she's basically in control the whole time, and you can tell all she wants is love. You can tell throughout the entire second half of season 3 that all she wants is love.
Yeah, and she's also batshit crazy too.
Well, I could say that about any women I've ever met in real life, and that includes Stephanie.
No.
She just smiled. She didn't even deny it. Look
How
at that.
dare you? How dare you? Yeah. No. But here's the deal. What I like about the whole Rumpel thing, about he truly, definitively, at the moment when he comes out of that goo and everything, and that bit, the witch is there, and he truly and definitively chooses Neil at that moment, because he has a choice. He could go for the dagger or he could save Neil, and he chooses Neil.
Mhm.
So there never is any doubt that at this point he loves his son more than he loves himself and more than he loves his power. So
Mhm.
that I did like that aspect of it, and it all might have gone well if, well, maybe it wouldn't have gone well. I guess that kind of dark magic never goes well, but of course Lumiere betrayed them all.
Fucking
Never trust
Lumiere.
never trust a candelabra.
Nope. I mean, the
I
bastard.
like I like how later on Regina's like, not that candle Liberace.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, Regina has so many good one-liners.
I
But
know, she's so funny.
and I guess that Zelena's big elaborate plot is what she wants to go back in time. Gee whiz, I don't even remember. I mean,
So she wants to go back in time and have Cora pick her instead of trying to have another kid with whoever it is.
the dude she married, yeah. But here's the
Henry.
deal. Yeah, what if she'd have gone back in time and said, you have me, and Cora had gone, nah, I still don't want you.
Cora would have. She didn't have a. Oh wait, she still had a heart right then. I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Cora would have. She still would have, because all she wanted was to be royal.
Yeah, she didn't give a crap about her. But the idea that Zelena was so broken that she would move heaven and earth to something that
Have a
was
chance to be loved.
Yeah, have the chance to be loved, ultimately an illusion. And there's a really good moment when at the end, because Zelena was always taunting her, saying, you can't change, you're always going to be evil, no one's ever going to blah, blah, blah. And then when Regina is basically using good magic or whatever to stop her, she's like, what are you doing? And she goes, changing. Yeah, that was such a good moment. And then
I was hoping that would last longer. Like, that was the only time she ever used light magic, I guess.
Yeah, they did not take advantage of
No,
a
they
lot of
didn't.
things that they
They
could have.
didn't take advantage of that. It was like, no, we can only have Emma using light magic. I was hoping that she would use that a lot more. Like, that was the only time we ever saw it white, like light magic. All the other times it was still kind of
The dark.
I don't know, dark.
Yeah. But it was so awesome to see her do it.
It really, really was. And like with a darkened heart, she can still do that light magic, and it was so good. And I was like, oh my gosh, I hope they continue on with it. And they don't use any of it.
Yeah.
It's the only time that we see her using that. It sucks.
Yeah. And it goes along with that whole theme of second chances, where it's like your fate is not sealed. That you still can be good. You can still use good magic, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
And then later, when she's talking to Zelena, when Zelena's in the cell, she says to her, she says, evil isn't born, it's made, but so is good. And that was just such a good line. It's like, good can be made as well. And she was hoping that Zelena would, make better choices. Obviously, she did not. But no, I love that.
I kind of thought that how Ingrid, the good witch, how she like taught Zelena to channel her magic with like the charm that she wears. I honestly thought that was a cop out. It's just such an easy way to defeat her.
It is rip off her necklace.
They just rip off her necklace and then she's powerless.
Well, Well, they also said the necklace made her even more powerful
Yeah, but she should have still had powers even without the necklace. You know what I mean?
because she did originally.
Yeah, exactly. So I thought that that was such a cop out the way they did that. I was hoping that they would have to do something different. Which, you know, I liked that Regina used the light magic, and in that way she was able to just walk up to her and just rip off the necklace, and she stored it in her vault. But like it felt like such a cop out. It should have been, I don't want to say it should have been more challenging, but like that first witch fight was really good.
Oh,
You know, you
yeah,
want
it
to
was
see something
badass.
else like that, something awesome like that again. You want to see her really use more light magic to defeat Zelena, because she is powerful. She's extremely powerful. And I thought that it would have been a lot better had they done like a witch fight part 2 a little longer and like really get that earned victory.
Good point. Yeah.
As opposed to just like, okay, I'm ripping off your necklace and you're no longer powerful. But I don't know. It's just, it seemed like a cop out to me. But it was still good. It was still good. It was
Yeah.
still good. Going to Zelena actress. I love Rebecca Mader. I love how she did, again, really, really good casting. I love when she's fully green and embraced her witchiness. When she's in Storybrooke and she comes out as the witch, and you know, you find out, I love I love Emma's reaction, like, the Wicked Witch, what, wait, what? I like Emma's reaction to it. But I like all the different spells that she casts. I like that when she casts spells, they're green. You know, everything's green. She brings Regina green apples.
That's fun.
I like her outfits. Everything is really great how she does it. But at the same time, when she gets like really angry, and I get it, she's playing someone who's green with envy, it almost comes off like childlike. Like, you always get to do everything, and I never get to do anything. It almost comes out childlike,
I
which
think that's the point, though.
I know. That's what I was gonna say, which is really good because, you know, she's always kind of looked at Regina and thought like, you always got everything and I got nothing. And I like how she played that. I really do, because she's still kind of stuck in that. She's been stuck in that for so long. So long. She's been stuck in that envious point in her life, and she's never gone past that and grown in any way. And I really like how she played it. I like how Rebecca Mader played that role. It was so good.
Yeah. And it was well written as well. And I also liked the way that Tinkerbell was able to get her wings back. You know,
she got her wings back.
Yeah. And when was it? I loved it. They were all at the Granny's, and the way Regina was standing up for Tinkerbell, and she went with her, and she went up to Blue, was like, "Give this girl her wings back. What the fuck is wrong with you?" And then Blue's like, and then later,
I thought it was so bitchy how she's like, "I can't give them back. She has to believe in herself." Like, are you fucking kidding me?
I know. It's like it's like, how do you think she lost her confidence? Yeah,
Blue is way worse than the Black Fairy.
Yeah, Shady Blue, she was such a witch about it. And I loved it, though, when she did get her wings back. So Tinkerbell got her happy ending as well. She got her second chance and went off to live happily ever after on other TV shows.
on iZombie.
Yeah, an iZombie. I mean, she also, gosh, well, off top, she was in those Flowers in the Attic things on Lifetime. Yeah, Genevieve is correct. It is all about the journey. Yes. And then when the journey is done well, the payoff is also equally done well. The 3B was also the first time that we have little grown-up Henry. Henry's voice has changed, and he's now taller than everybody. He like grew like 3 feet over the winter or something. He's like, he's all grown up. Everyone knows the truth except him. And it was really sad. You know, the kid finally, when he gets his memories back, and they're like, your dad is, dead. You missed it. Sorry. And it's like, really?
I like his bonding with Hook
Yes.
when he takes him out, because Hook still needs to kind of come to terms with Neil's death as well, because he was like a father figure, and then like I guess when he was older brothers, with that. And he sees Henry and he's just like, let's go out. And he's like, I don't want to go sailing. Takes him anyways. They steal a boat, but I like that bonding with him and Henry. And I think like he teaches him about the stars and stuff like that. It's really, and I like how Henry's like constantly confused, and it's really good. He plays it well. He's like, wait, you knew my father? Wait, how old are you? Yeah.
Aren't you the same age?
Aren't you the same age? Yeah. He's like, wait, weren't you the same age? Like, yeah, he's constantly confused, but I I love how Hook has like this, and Emma too, because Emma's like asking Hook to babysit him. And he like teaches him different things, and he thinks that like from the very beginning he's like, why are you dressed like that? Why are you dressed like that? Like,
yeah, I love that. I thought that was a great line. Like, he got a fit. It's like, why are you?
yeah.
Yeah, that was fun.
Why are you dressed like that? It's so funny, but I like their back and forth. It's really cute. You start to see Hook bond with Henry, and I like how this is a season where Charming like tries to teach Henry how to drive.
Yeah, because he's jealous of Hook.
Because he thinks
I
that
can be
he's
the cool
boring.
grandpa.
He thinks that he's boring, and he's like, our grandson would rather spend time with a pirate than us.
Oh, I know. And then he like kills the mailbox.
Yeah. It's so good. It's so funny. Just like Henry not having his memories, they play around with that, and they do a good job. But they bring it back to Hook, and he's used as sort of like a healing for Hook, which is good too.
Yeah.
But it's also used to forward him and Emma's relationship too, because you have to have a certain amount of trust to leave your kid with somebody, so
especially a pirate.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
So you also find out that Henry isn't really the heart of the truest believer, though.
Oh,
okay,
God.
all right. Now it's time. Go for it. Tell me what you have to say about that, Biggles.
All right. So Henry states in his own thing, yeah, I believe if it gets me something. I don't remember exactly what he says. But she's like, do you believe in? He's like, yeah, I believe in the tooth fairy and this if it gets me something, right? So he stated already that he doesn't believe. So without Regina's influence, he doesn't really have the heart of the truest believer. So it's like, if this part happened before part A, then there would be no heart of the truest believer. And Pan never would have captured Henry, and we wouldn't have got the best season of Once Upon a Time. But he's constantly not believing anything. He's like, you're lying to me. And they're like, well, just trust me, kid. Like, trust me. You'll know soon enough. And he's like, no, I don't want to. I'm going to steal the bug and try to drive it to a bus stop and then go back to New York because I don't want to be here. Blah, 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 blah. And he's such a worse kid being raised by Emma than Regina.
Yeah. Like, let's kick the crap out of him. Yeah.
It's like,
well, at the same time, though, Emma is also very annoying, kind of annoying, because she
doesn't believe either.
She doesn't want to stay here. She wants to go back to New York. We had a good life in New York. It wasn't real, but it was fun. And it's like, seriously, you're going to leave? Like, that you're co-parenting this child with Regina, right? You're going to take him away, and you're going to leave your family too? Like, it makes no sense why she just wants to run away from this.
To be fair, if I lived in Maine, I'd leave for New York too. I love pizza, man.
It made no sense, because she should have those memories where she didn't want to leave. She was telling Regina it wouldn't be real. She was upset that she left, and she knows that those memories that they had are fake. So
yeah, but she almost got married to a flying monkey, so she wanted that instead.
Oh yeah, you're right.
That's right. I forgot about that. But it's what do you call it? It makes no sense for Emma to want to go back to New York. It makes no sense. I don't know why it was written that way.
Yeah, it's like quit being such a whiny little witch.
Yeah, she's being extremely whiny and almost like with so much growth in 3A, you would think that they would continue that and not stall her, and they completely stalled her.
Yeah.
In 3B, and it was so odd why they did that. They kind of stalled her growth because in practically every episode she's like, well, we'll get this done and we're going to go back to New York. New York this, New York that. And we had such a good life in New York. It was good. It wasn't real, but it was good. We had good life in New York. Me and Henry in New York. And it was just like, calm down with New York. Are you kidding me? This is you're back home. Remember, you didn't want to leave, and it was unfair. So I didn't like that they really stalled her, because for a while it got annoyingly hard to watch and continue to hear about fucking New York. And it's like, logistically, how would that be reasonable, honestly?
Yeah.
I agree with Alex.
Oh, what does he say? Maybe it was a Mary Margaret side of Emma. And well, here's the thing also. I think that part of the reason they were stalling Emma out was because they knew what they were going to be doing with her in the finale, and so they're like, well, let's just let her tread water a bit. We kind of want her to get somewhere with Hook, but beyond that, we don't want her to move forward, because we're planning on having her move forward in the There's No Place Like Home episode. So, but yeah, it was annoying. And speaking of annoying, the dumbest thing ever, when Zelena put the curse on Hook's lips. It's like, you can't kiss her. If you do kiss her, you're...
I know that episode. That
was Days of Our Lives.
I don't know what that episode was. I think that was one of the weakest episodes. Yeah. Like, yeah, you got to see Ariel come back, which Ariel's the episode already in 3A with Ariel.
I love Jolly Roger.
I did not like Jolly Roger.
I didn't like the end of it, but the kiss part, but everything else was awesome. Because in good form.
Let me finish.
No.
The episode in 3A with Ariel, I thought was one of the weakest. And then they brought her back in 3B, and I was just kind of like, this episode kind of sucks. What's the point of this episode other than to reveal that Ariel's not really there? It's Zelena, and it was just like, so the whole thing was like, there's no point. It was so weird. It was so freaking weird. And then, like, to see that they are fine, her and Eric are on some island together and happy, and it, like, Hook doesn't even say, like, oh yeah, again, stalling growth. Like, there was growth there. It's like, you're stalling Hook's growth. Why are you keeping this secret from them? You saw in the past with Charming keeping that secret from his family and how upset they got when he didn't say anything. Why are you keeping this a secret?
Good point. Yeah. And you're right about the Ariel. That was very weak too. The Ariel episode in 3A. Yeah.
It was a weak episode. Yeah.
Yeah.
But what I was saying was, like, good form, it was how he became a pirate. I was going to say everything leading up to that is how he realizes he doesn't want to be a pirate anymore. He wants to go back to the man he was before. So you do have growth from Hook in that episode. And he's so ashamed.
If he doesn't want to go back to the man he was before, he would have said something. He would have said something about his lips. Because even when he finally reveals Emma's just like, your lips, why? Like,
the lips is at the very end of the episode, so he doesn't say anything in the next episode, right? That's the next episode where he doesn't say anything, right?
It was 2 days of our lives for me.
But
like sound through the hourglass.
All of it leads up to Hook wanting to be, and the reason why he doesn't tell Ariel is because he's ashamed of himself, and he even says that at the end of the episode. So he does get growth.
Well, but I thought it was stupid growth.
I think it's dumb. Again, it's I
made fun of that. That episode hurt me. It hurt me it gave me physical pain.
I'm sorry. Blame Ariel. She's not a person that turns into a monkey. She's a person who turns into a fish or something like that. I don't know exactly what she said. I'm not a person, or I'm not a fish that turns into a monkey. I'm a fish that turns into a person. Whatever the hell that stupid line was.
Well, it was ridiculous.
Yeah.
I know. I agree. I mean, I hear you, Biggles. I hear you. I hear your passion. I'm
Emma's
validating
seducing
your
Hook right
feelings.
now. Oh,
Oh.
I just missed it. Her in the corset leaning over. Hello, nurse.
Come on!
Oh,
Can we
yeah.
get to that episode? That I loved it.
Yeah.
Home.
Don't
Okay.
blame the run.
Yeah. Well, my problem, I guess the only thing we really got out of the Jolly Rogers episode, I didn't like it. I thought it was ridiculous, which was it reminded us, oh yeah, he cares about the Jolly Roger because of what happens next. I feel like some of these episodes are because plot.
Yeah.
And by this point, as they're getting ready to film and write these episodes, they've already been given the orders from on high that the direction that they want the show to go in season 4, which is basically we're going to be doing this Frozen stuff.
The Frozen crap.
Yeah, because that did come a little bit out of nowhere. Now they always said, "Oh, we always planned this." I'm like, "No, you didn't." It was, because it took them, I think, a little bit off guard, and I think that's also why they had to rush
You
it.
can tell that they took it. It was taken off guard because of, again, it was another. It was like the start of, let's put these characters at the forefront and these in the back. Like, it's no longer. Yeah, it was the start of that.
Yeah, almost like celebrity casting, but the celebrities were the Disney characters. And
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
And before it was integrated into the story and not at the expense of the other ones. Well, and this leads us to the whole "There's No Place Like Home" theme, which is the final 2 episodes of the season. I have some very strong opinions about both of these episodes and the whole concept. I am a very big fan of the episode Snow Falls.
I know you are.
Yeah, and while I do understand what people got out of snow drifts and all that, it really did upset me. Because,
Emma in the corset. That's what it is.
Okay, Emma in the corset. I know, but what I'm saying is, Snow Falls was such a good episode on so many different levels, and this actually kind of erased Snow Falls. So I had a very bad feeling throughout all of this because I really did like the original way, and it really upset me that the way that Snow and Charming then remember how they got together and everything, it wasn't their original love story. On the other hand, I know you love it because well, it was a very good Captain Swan episode, and of course leading to when they get together. So I don't know if you wanted to say a little bit about Snowdrifts and There's No Place Like Home, Stephanie.
I think that, like, it's not only a good Captain Swan double episode, but yeah, it rewrites Snow and Charming, but it's an insight for Emma. Emma's finally a part of everything, and that's one of the things that I love about these 2 episodes, is that she gets to see her parents when in the Enchanted Forest. She gets to see what they were doing, how they fell in love. She's a part of that now. She's a part of their world. Yeah, they can't really see her, but she gets to kind of know them.
This isn't the Aladdin series.
She gets to kind of know them,
Oh, wait,
whereas
never mind. That's Little Mermaid. Sorry.
Oh, yeah,
she didn't know her parents. Like, she has no concept of the Enchanted Forest. And here she is in the Enchanted Forest, not just in the Enchanted Forest, but she's seeing her parents. She's seeing them fall in love. She's seeing them meet for the first time, and she's a part of that. In the shadows, because they have to be very careful with a lot of things, but she's now a part of that, and you kind of see it at the end when they're looking at the storybook.
Mm-hmm.
She's happy to be a part of it. I'm sure that like she's always felt not included, because and in the episode she's like, they're always going on about, this ball, this and this ball and that ball, and I don't understand what the big deal is, because she can't understand. She's not a part of that world. She's never experienced that world, and she finally can experience it like the way her parents experienced it. She's going through that. She's living it, and I think that yes, it erases some of Snowfalls or rewrites some of Snowfalls, but it's kind of, I don't know, how it's like it's fake dust, fake black dust, fake blackberry dust, or the way he gets his cut is different. It's done differently, but at the same time, it still leads up to them getting together. And Emma's a part of that. And I think that's what I really love about these episodes.
Okay.
Yeah, it rewrites a little bit, but at the same time, she's included where she's never really been included. So I like that. She's a part of the storybook now as Princess Leia.
As Princess Leia, yeah, that is funny. And poor Hook is Prince Charles. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think I guess maybe the part I could have accepted it more, because they could have done that without it actually changing. Like they could have always been like behind the scenes or doing stuff, maybe. But I hear exactly what you're saying there with what they did, and I thought that Hook. That's where I kind of really started to feel, Hook really does care about Emma, and what it led to with him then making his reveal to her when they're finally back. Maybe mean a little bit more when he says that he gave up his ship for her. But I also like the fact that what Emma went through that adventure, it made her finally appreciate her family too. I think that she sometimes would seem to be a little flippant about it, and about
and that's what got on my nerves during this part.
Yeah.
She was always like, New York, New York, New York. And it's just like, this is your family, yo.
And this is your world. And I don't know, almost like she was looking down on, just stupid enchanted forest world.
Which is odd. Again, I feel like it's just like stalling the character for reasons. And those reasons are, we're going to save it for these last 2 episodes. It's so weird.
Well, exactly. And that was their reasons. It was because plot. And Biggles, did you have anything you wanted to say about these 2 episodes?
Well, it also shows how stupid Snow is, because they're all trying to save Emma, right?
Yeah.
And she's like, nope, I'm going to go challenge Regina. I think I can take on Regina. No, he can't. She kicked her.
She was definitely stupid. She was even dumber in this than she was before.
Yeah, that part was kind of dumb.
She is the dumbest character ever written. Okay.
How do you realize?
You know that rock that Regina picks up and throws to get back into her castle earlier in season 3B?
Yeah.
That's a lot smarter. That rock is a lot smarter than Snow.
Oh gosh. Yeah. Okay.
So I love how it shows how dumb Snow is, because anytime they show how stupid she is, it makes my heart melt. It's the only emotion I show while watching the show.
If you're an unadulterated hatred.
And then, like right now, it's the ball part. I love this.
Oh, this that is a cool scene. I will admit that. Yeah.
I love the ball part.
He's like, I'll teach you how to waltz. All you need is a good partner, which is him. Right?
Yeah, exactly. And there's truth in that.
And I love how big his smile is.
Yeah.
His smile is so big, just looking at her. Every time she's in a gowner and something like that, like his smile is so huge. I love it.
Aww.
And you get Princess Abigail back, right?
Oh yeah.
And she's still upset that she doesn't have her true love.
Oh, but she gets him back. She and Frederick get back together.
But going back to like at the very end of the season where she finds out like you gave up your ship for me, and he's like, I love how but the
I see who's
theme is,
interrupting now, Steph.
the theme is like, home. It's home, and home is something that's really big for Emma because she's never felt at home anywhere.
Yeah.
And I think that's really why she wanted to go back to New York, because she's like felt it like, oh, that's home. We made a home, blah, blah, blah. But he gave up his home. That's where he lives. That's where Hook lives, is on the Jolly Roger.
Yes, exactly. And he's basically
gave it up.
saying that Emma is his home now.
Yeah. That's what he's saying. You're my home. I don't need my ship. You're my home. I gave it up to find you, because it shows in the past, that he's always thinking about her. He misses her. He's not whole without her. And his crew like buys him a wench, and he's just like, here, take this money and just tell them you had a good time. He's not whole without her. Like, Emma is his home. So yes, I'm going to give up the Jolly Roger to go and find you. If there's a chance that I can find you again, I'm going to take it, and I'm going to give up my home. And I think that's what moves Emma so much, that like, it's not just your ship that you gave up. It's your home. You know what I mean? So like, I think that was one of the big things for her too.
Yeah.
So back to what I was saying before, I was interrupted by Stephanie
come on,
on her tangent.
Sorry.
I just love all the interaction with Hook and Emma, because one, he's like, well, red leather jacket's going to stare out, so you got to wear this. And she's got a corset, and it's just like, hi, I'm Emma. And you're like, yes. And
okay, yeah, he likes the boobs.
And then Red Riding Hood is back. Oh, yes. Yes.
Oh, yeah, we know how you feel about her.
He's back for a little bit. And Hook's just like, I'm glad the wolf's on our side. After she, like, bites someone. And then I just like how, like, Rumpel's like, I haven't killed him yet? You're saying I haven't killed the pirate, and now I fall in love with the help?
Yeah. Right? Oh, that's so...
Oh gosh.
And it's just, the interactions are great, because like, you have Rumpel, he's like, you're going to ruin my curse? What? And he's like, the pirate's still alive? What? I fell in love with the help? What? Like, it's like, he's just like, I'm trying to get my son back, and you keep ruining it. Everything you're saying here makes me sick.
Oh, yeah, that was hilarious. Well, and then she's like, it's amazing. And then Emma just mutters, I don't know how they ever fell for each other.
Yeah.
You fell in love with that. I forgot about that.
Yeah. So all the interactions in this are fine, or are actually pretty terrific, actually. But it's just, I really like all the interactions in this. Like, you even have, like, Regina right now is like, oh, take Emma to the dungeon, right?
Yeah.
And then the rescue and all that, and Snow's.
That's where I wanted to murder Emma.
But who remembered the bug thing? David. David remembered that it could turn her into a bug. So David saved Snow's life, unfortunately for all of us, but also for Emma, right? He's like, no, that's her. And then you get Shady Blue back.
Oh, yeah. And, she sucks. Yeah.
But I like those episodes. I know it's not cool because it rewrote history, but if I had to listen to them tell that story one more time, I probably would have shot myself.
Oh no!
And I feel like Emma was. I feel like Emma was the same way.
Yeah. Oh, Genevieve says a good point. I like the forgetting potion when Rumpel used it. Yeah, and he's like, "Why am I in here?"
Oh, that's right.
It's like, what? What the hell? Yeah. No, good points. Good points, all. Yeah. Well, and as far as the whole theme of, finding your home, that not only through it all does Emma and Hook and all of that stuff happen, but, Emma appreciates her home instead of stupid New York, and her mother and her father and her new baby brother. They have that really nice moment where they name their baby after Neil.
Oh, I love
Yeah.
Rumple. It's such a simple reaction
Oh
that
gosh,
Robert Carlyle gives, but it's so powerful.
yeah.
All he does is close his eyes. That's
Yes,
it.
I know.
Like that's all he does. It's like this slight smile with his eyes closed. It's such a simple reaction, but it's so moving. You know,
Yeah.
it's like it's
Oh gosh, I know exactly what you're talking about.
yeah.
And I've told you before that I have this really sincere belief in my head canon that this episode basically ends with these scenes, because what Rumple, first of all, his acknowledgement and how moved he is, and it's also an acknowledgement that Rumple is like a part of the family now.
Yeah.
And then Belle and him go on from there, and they get married, and their vows are just so beautiful.
Oh,
And
their
she's
vows are gorgeous.
and
Oh, I
they're
love them.
crying. Everything about it was perfect. And then also you see again new families forming, new homes.
Now,
You see Regina walking, and Robin Hood kind of sneak away to take Roland to get some ice cream. So you see Regina's kind of becoming the mother, and then they just kind of kiss and they all go in.
And then it gets ruined because of Emma.
Well, yes. I was about ready to say, at that moment, you got Emma making out with Hook. You've got Snow and Charming and the baby. You've got everyone like, hey, I love you. Roland's running in with ice cream, and Robin and Regina are holding hands. And then and then you see Belle and Rumpelstiltskin, they're kissing from their wedding. Then everything fades to black, and it says, and they all lived happily ever after. And that would have been thematically and everything the perfect ending to all of it. I mean, it really would have, because everything that comes after
I
is out of character. It's out of character with a lot of those people. And
there's something that pisses me off though
happened.
at that end that also sours that ending. It's not just Elsa. It's the fact that Rumple is still lying to Belle.
Oh, we see. Oh, okay. I forgot to say. The other thing is that whole thing about Rumple giving her the fake dagger and all that. That didn't happen. None of that happened. You see, you got to understand. Zelena is still because they were setting that up to undo everything. You understand that? So what really happened was he didn't do that. He really gave Belle the dagger as a pledge for his wedding. It was the real dagger, and that's it. Yeah, because I was going to say, remember, this is if they're sticking with where they were going with the story. Because I felt like it was very out of nowhere. Everything you see Rumple doing in this whole, not just in this episode, but in this whole season, it's just like at the last minute, he's like, nope, forget everything,
really
forget all of my character development, forget everything I did. Yeah. I'm back to where I was before the show even started. So I was going to say, so I will give you that point, Stephanie, but the point is it didn't happen. And I know that's cheating. Canon. Yeah, because this is my head canon. Because after that, because that's where the story falls apart. It's not consistent after that. And then
they do that to him over and over and over. They give him so much growth and they take it away.
Yeah. And not just him, with other ones as well, too.
Yeah, they do that, but more with him. They do it a lot.
Oh, it's Rumple. Ridiculous. It was absurd.
They do it a lot to Rumple, and it's just like, what? Either when is he going to learn, or when are they just going to stop? Like, just continue on with his growth.
Yeah, because it got to the point where you're like, is Rumple like brain damaged or something that he keeps doing? You know what I mean? It wasn't even good writing. It wasn't even good villain stuff.
Well, then we'll blame Happy, right? Happygate. It's his fault. The writing was bad.
Well, yeah, it's his fault that he was telling people on Twitter what they were talking about in the break room.
he should have just let Snow Swan or Queen Swan or whatever the hell it is.
Swan happen. Queen.
Swan Queen.
And it would have just kept getting worse and worse and worse and worse.
Oh
till it
gosh,
all
yeah.
burned in a fire,
Yeah.
and we
But
never had to have season 7.
well, exactly. But I'll tell you what. But of course, that didn't happen. We all know that didn't happen. That everything unraveled at the last second. And that's the other thing. It made you hate Emma, and then Emma ruined everything. Like and then Marion comes in. And it's like, oh, I'm alive, and he's like, oh, you're alive, and then Rumpel's like, ha ha ha, I'm evil again, and then randomly Elsa just pops out of somewhere. It's like, what the hell just happened?
Yeah. Why was she in that vase anyways?
Well, I mean, they explained it, but that was
Oh yeah, it was how they captured her aunt or whatever.
yeah.
But her aunt was already out of it, so it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, well, nothing is going to really make sense after this. But yeah, so that's my take on it. Well, I want to go ahead and go around and ask y'all what your MVP was. I'm going to start with Stephanie. Who is
Wait.
your Oh wait, okay. So
Before we do this, can we do an MVP A and MVP B?
you know what? That
Ooh.
makes sense. If you want
Yeah.
to do that, I will allow you. Okay. So you can choose, Stephanie, if you want to do an MVP for the whole season or for A and B.
All right. I'm going to do A and B. For
Mhm.
A, it's Peter Pan. Loved him.
Ooh.
Loved him so much. He's so great. He's a standout character. He's one of the reasons that I love season 3 and I can binge it over and over and just watch that small little section because of Robbie K, because of his acting. I thought he was so phenomenal as Peter Pan. Loved it.
Okay.
For B, I'm gonna give it to Regina. Oh my god. Couldn't even think.
I'm going through a lot of characters in my head. Regina, okay. So why was Regina?
I loved how she played against Rebecca Mader. That's her name, right? Rebecca Mader. I loved how they played against each other. I liked all of the backstory that we learned. She's a huge part of B, and she's a phenomenal actress. I love Lana Parrilla so much. And I think that like this season with the Wicked Witch had a lot to do with her, and she really shined in that season.
Okay, fair enough. How about you, Biggles?
Surprised, huh? Not Captain Hook.
Oh no, it can't always be Hook.
Well, A, Captain Hook.
Okay.
I think Captain Hook's even better in this season than last season. I really like Peter Pan too, but if I had to choose, hey, I'm talking here. Sit down. If I had to choose, they'd be like neck and neck, and Hook's even better, and then Peter Pan right next to him. But Hook shines in multiple episodes of Part A, so I'm going with Hook. And then B, Robin Hood.
Yay,
and
my man.
I'm going with Robin Hood in Part B because he's all his character interactions are great. They're great. And then he's just like, I'm sorry I lost your heart. And then he's like, boom, I got it back, but it's not actually in your heart. It's like with me. Right? Boom. Kissy kiss. One, right? It was great. I loved it.
Yeah. Well, yeah, of
that
course
was
I
one
love
of the oh, never mind.
No, go
ahead. No, never mind. I'm not gonna say.
I'm done. Say something. Alex says MVP's the Flying Monkey. So Walsh?
Yeah, fine.
Or Little John.
Okay. Yeah, I won't force you to say it. Stephanie.
That was like one of the first times we've seen, I guess, the after of sex, like because she gets it on with Robin Hood. Yeah.
She gets it on with what's his name? Graham.
Yeah, but
that's right. She does. Never
like
mind,
every night.
I forgot about that. She gets a lot of ass.
I was gonna say, out of all the characters, she gets a lot of ass. Yeah.
Hey, when you take out their hearts and make them do whatever you want, it works.
I'm just saying that's like real stuff, though. That's like real stuff.
Oh gosh, yeah. Well, okay. Those are both fair enough. I think that you've all probably, you've said what what I would say, it's hard because you have to go through both seasons, but definitely Robbie K is Peter Pan. Peter Pan is definitely the mover and the shaker of it, and I love Robin Hood. I mean, Robin Hood is at his best in 3B. After this season, they just turn him into, I don't know what they do to him, but they do horrible things to him. But I like the way that he was a mover and a shaker on Regina's redemption, that it wasn't just that he was encouraging her, like, have a second chance and have romance. He was also supporting her through stuff with her son and making good decisions and things with Zelena and the Wicked Witch, what she was bringing out in her and all that. So it's getting harder and harder to make decisions that are different than yours, I think, at this point, because I think it's pretty obvious. It's pretty obvious. And I think we've talked about the best episode. My best episode, of course, is Good Form. That's just all there is to it. There is not good. Yeah, Good Form's yours.
Oh, Good Form. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it is a tour de force episode, and we've already spoken of it. That's just
best episode on the entire show.
Yeah, that's your favorite of them all. Yeah, it's definitely in my top 5.
Yeah.
Skin Deep, which, by the way, we're coming up the 10th anniversary of Skin Deep on February 12th. So that's going to be something of a thing. But how about your least favorite episode? What's yours, Steph?
The Ariel episodes, both of them. I didn't like them. Either one.
They were ridiculous.
Yeah.
The Jolly Roger was a good one.
Because The Little Mermaid is my favorite Disney movie, and I was so excited for Ariel to come to Once Upon a Time, and it was so disappointing.
Yeah,
I like the actress that they chose to play the Ariel. I really like her, but the story was just not there.
Yeah, they did.
I thought that the set design looked cheap. I didn't like Prince Eric. I thought the costumes looked awful. Yeah, I just didn't like the both episodes with Ariel.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one. Though we do see a little bit of the real Eric, at least with the actor, because it's like they went out of their way to make him look unattractive. Because later, when you see him, he looks like the way he was when I met him, which is he's actually a very rugged, bearded. He's a hottie. I mean, because
as Eric should be.
Yeah, as Eric should be, and
that's the original Disney hottie is Prince Eric.
Yeah,
you're gonna cast for Prince Eric. You better make sure that you cast a hottie.
Yeah, and he was a hottie, and they made him look unhottie. But when you see him, I forget which episode it is, when he's sitting there with the fish and he's wearing his little sweater and the beard, that's the way he really looks, and hot as hell. And if they'd have kept him like that in the Little Mermaid episode, that would have been amazing. So it wasn't it was good casting. They just did shite costumes. But I agree with you. Those are definitely the Jolly Roger, and I hated that episode. I really did, more than life itself. And before we go on to the next one, I just want to we've had 2 people pop in.
Is he frozen? Is Biggles frozen? Pretty sure he is.
I'm on a different thing trying to know the names of the episodes.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, the Jolly Roger I hated more than I did not like that episode one little bit. Except for, of course, Hook could read the phone book and be hot and sexy.
Except for all the Hook scenes. Everything outside of the Hook scenes are bad.
And then Zakrot 315, they have also come in here at the end. Thank you for popping in and saying hi. We definitely do appreciate you. How about you, Biggles? What is your worst episode?
So my worst episode is also going to be one of my favorite episodes.
Interesting.
The Tower.
Oh, yes.
So the Tower is awesome.
Oh my gosh.
The Tower is awesome and awful at the same time.
I agree.
You have this great story with David, right? He's poisoned by Zelena with the night rot or whatever, or night root, one of the two. And he goes and he meets Rapunzel, right?
Oh yeah.
And Rapunzel.
A race swapped Rapunzel.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
And a
I'm
child.
dying. I'm sorry.
Please don't die on us. That would be really pathetic. That this is your last moments.
Yeah, talking about an episode of Once Upon a Time. Yeah, I would cry in my grave. So you meet Rapunzel, who's so terrified of failure, right? Like that's her fear. Her fear is failure. Like, failure is very important. There's no reason to fear failure. If you fail, you learn from it and you improve. So the fact that she's so afraid of it, I don't like her as a character. And David gets poisoned, right? His fear is reasonable. He fears that he's going to be a bad father because he wasn't there for Emma, right? So you have the David part, which is so good, and then everything else is so bad. You have Snow, who's so stupid, so absolutely stupid in this episode. It leads to David being poisoned. Had she listened to David at all, David's like, do we know we can trust her? Like, we don't know this person. And she's like, she knew Johanna. They were friends. And you're just like, shut up, Snow. He's bringing up good points. You have no idea who this person is. And everything in that episode outside of what's going on with David is pretty bad. Even the Emma and Hook thing is kind of stupid. They're just like, oh, we're going to go get Rumpel. Oh, maybe we shouldn't go get Rumpel. Maybe we need help. Let's call Regina. Blah, 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 blah. And you're like, I really like this episode because of David. And everything else is shit. So it's like,
I honestly don't. The only snippet that I would like regarding David is that he's scared that he's not going to be there for this child like Emma. That's it. That's the only little tiny snippet. That's it. Not even the Enchanted Forest part is good.
The dream part, the very beginning, is good.
Yeah.
Where he's like, Emma, you're here. He's dreaming. And that was his fear that he's not going to be good. And then you have him facing his fear. So that part with David, those two parts with David are great. And him saving Rapunzel is really good too, right? He's like, oh no, you got to fight this. You got to fight this. And then everything else is so freaking stupid in that episode. So one of my favorite things because of David, where I actually really like David, the rest of the episode is so awful that I put it as the worst episode of the season.
Oh, well, fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, that episode kind of did suck, didn't it?
It did suck. It was a clear filler episode. That was meant to just get David's courage, which is so stupid.
I know, because it's like, yeah, I understand why he would be worried, but yeah, it was stupid.
There was
he. Well, remember I said this will be the end of him. Well, R.I.P. Biggles. It was nice knowing you. We said we don't want your last moments to be talking about the worst episode of Once Upon a Time. But oh darn, he's back. Oh wait, you didn't die.
I thought I died. I don't know what happened. But Robin, the Robin and David scene is really good too, because they're like, here, have some alcohol. Like you need this to help with your fears, right? But if you need to, go here.
I love the bro moment with them. Yes, that was
good. Great. But the episode everything else was awful. I hated it. It sucked.
Okay, well, there we are. So the best and the worst. And I mean, so many good things to think about this season. And it makes me almost want to rewatch it. I haven't rewatched it in quite a while. So I'm really looking forward to
from our last stream, I watched it 3 times.
Wow. Holy crap, dude.
That's how much I like the first season or the first half.
Nice. Yeah, the first half of 3 is good.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's amazing. It's probably the best. And even though there are great moments in seasons 1 and 2, 3A is the most consistently good episode. I mean, sorry, season of the whole lot.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, look at this patriarchy cutting off the man. Well, no, he yeeted himself. He yeeted himself. Thank
I
you,
don't know what I
Genevieve.
did. I'm on my phone. Okay.
Yeah, he needs our help. He needs our help. But once again, thank you so much for coming on. It's so good talking with people that love this show as much as I did.
Are we
And
doing our worst of the season?
We did.
we did. That was your worst.
Characters? For characters?
Yes.
We did our worst characters?
Did we do our worst character?
Oh no, we didn't.
Oh, I guess we didn't. Oh yeah, because we didn't do the non-MVP. My fault. Okay, Biggles, I know that you're just dying to, so just get it out of your system.
I'm not allowed to say Snow White, so I'm going to choose 2 different characters, one for A and one for B. A, Neil. I do not like Neil at all in the first season, or the first half of the season. I talked all about why his whole distrust in Rumpel, when Rumpel clearly showed that he was willing to do anything for his grandson to get his son's son back, right? Mm-hmm. So I really dislike Neil. So Neil is my non-MVP for A. And if I don't, if otherwise it'd be Snow, because it's always Snow. But for B, I'm going to say it's Henry. I hate Henry when he's raised by Emma. He's awful. And the best part of Henry is when he's sitting in the hospital talking to Archie, because he finally has his friend back. Oh. And Archie's even seeing this, and he's like, well, have you talked to Emma? He's like, well, why wouldn't she want to come back? Like, he doesn't even talk to his mom about it. Right? He doesn't seem to give a shit. All he cares about is himself. And when he, for the heart of the truest believer, he's kind of a dickhead in B. You know, I really liked him in A, but I really disliked him in B.
Okay, I will accept what you said, because he was, if you will, under a curse. It wasn't really Henry. It wasn't really him. And apparently we know Emma would have been a terrible mother.
Yep. You're a bad mom, Emma. Smack that up.
Okay. How about you, Steph?
For 3A, I agree with Biggles. It's Neil. Mm-hmm. I agree. It is Neil. If I have to pick another character who I don't like,
Snow White.
Let her speak. I'm gonna hit
God, what's his name? Pan's secondhand man. He's such a horrible
Felix.
Felix is awesome. Felix is who Pan loves most. He's awesome.
I know, but he's just, the way he plays and talks is just so weird. I don't know. I don't like that character. I just don't like that actor, I suppose. Maybe the way he plays it. It's just, I don't like it. But I'm gonna choose Neil. Yes, Neil. I don't like the back and forth that he goes through. I don't like that. I don't like his character. How, it's his son that he's supposed to be saving, yet he's in this love triangle and putting that above saving his kid. Emma's having to be like, hello, are we doing this right now? You know what I mean? So I don't like Neil in 3A. In 3B, I'm giving it to Snow. There's no point in her
being alive
aside from her having a baby. That's it.
And her being really annoying to Regina, wanting Regina to put herself to sleep.
That's it. Her giving a baby. She made a baby. She made a baby. She needs to be protected. She let the witch inside her house. She was easily manipulated. Even I'm getting upset thinking about it.
She's so upset she gave herself the hiccups.
See, this is what happens when I talk about stuff that I don't like. I get mad. I get the hiccups. she was easily manipulated to the point where like she gets David poisoned back in the Enchanted Forest. She what do you call it? Like, she basically just, I don't want to say like she goes on living even though she just lost her. There's like no mourning period with her. She just lost her daughter all over again, and she's like, "Oh, Regina, Robin Hood is kind of cute, huh?" It's like, really, she's mourning the loss of her son. Why aren't you mourning the loss of your daughter like all over again? Or are you just used to it? I don't know. It just didn't like, I didn't like I did not like Snow's character in 3B.
Yeah.
She's a very selfish bitch.
Yeah. I think once again, I would be inclined to go with your choices as far as, well, not Felix. To me, Felix wasn't really
I think it's just the way the
enough.
actor played him, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, it was a thankless role. It really was just a secondary character.
Yeah.
I would agree with Neil. And I must say that even though I was upset that they killed Neil for what it did for the rest of the story and everything, I really was annoyed by him in all of season 3. So I would say season 3, A and B, Neil was the one that was the most annoying because, yeah, I can see what you're saying. Yeah. I know what you're saying about
you
Snow,
don't
but
see him a lot in B though.
I'm sorry.
So you don't see him too much in B though.
Well, yeah, until he dies. I mean, you don't see him after he dies, but he was in the Enchanted Forest. He was doing all that stuff with Belle, and there was he did this like stupid jealous thing with Hook. Remember, they were competitive a little bit, and I don't know. It just
and Hook just hugs him.
Yeah, it was unfortunate.
I actually love that Hook hugged him. I like that line that Hook's, and again, it's not even Neil, because Neil is still just thinking about Neil, but Hook is kind of like, sometimes I forget when he gave him like that
all
final
the time
hug.
we spent as a boy when you were a boy.
That final hug that he gave him, I like that.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah.
Anyway,
but in general, I wish that Neil hadn't died, but he was very annoying the way he was written in season 3. So he is the least MVP, in my humble opinion, for this season.
And that's because you're a Snow White sympathizer.
No, I'm not a Snow White sympathizer. Here's the thing about Snow White. To me, what she didn't do and her level of annoyance, it wasn't really at a high level in this season. Because as you said, she was spending the whole time being pregnant.
Yeah.
And retarded. I mean,
made really poor decisions.
Yeah. Well, she's always been a little bit special.
She made really poor decisions in this season.
She made poor decisions all the time.
It's pregnancy brain.
Oh, you're going to blame the pregnant brain.
Yeah, that's what I figured you ladies would do. You would be like, well, she's pregnant, so she doesn't think right. Don't give her an excuse. That's sexism. You're giving her an excuse because she's a woman.
Corey Cochran says, so she is a Karen, but worse. Oh my gosh.
She's way worse than a Karen. A Karen just tells on you every time you break the rules. She tells secrets. She lets bad people into her house. She's a Snow. That's what they should call it. They should call it a Snow when you're totally and so stupid that you make bad decisions that hurt the people around you because you think it's good. They should call it a Snow. That's what they should call it.
Okay, well, you heard it here first. We are rewriting the dictionary.
I'm sorry.
Gesundheit. Setting Brave Megatron says she chose poorly. Oh, dear.
She did.
Well, as I said, you heard it all here first. Okay, well, we're going to wind up this party. As always, a good time. Biggles, where can we find you?
You can find me at twitch.tv/Biggles_Mets. And you can find me on YouTube at youtube.com/BigglesMets. No, there's no underscore in that one. And that's it. That's where you can find me. I'm there a lot.
Okay, and you got any streams coming up?
Tomorrow is my Yu-Gi-Oh! Duels. So we'll be playing Yu-Gi-Oh! For a couple hours. But I won't be on camera because I am not at my house.
Okay. Well, there you are. You heard it here first. Okay, please go follow him. If I do have, I don't know if my mods are still around, but if you wouldn't mind putting some of that in the chat, I would appreciate it. And how about you, Stephanie? What's going on?
You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitch, all at the same name, My Nerdy Home. And I'm about to go live on Twitch here in like 10 minutes.
Okay. Well, there you are. Yeah. So please go and support Stephanie on Twitch as she goes live. And you can find me here on Miss Martin Muses. I'm going to be having the Lord of the Rings book stream on Saturday morning, 11 o'clock Central in the morning. We're going to be doing the Battle of Pelennor Fields on the Return of the King, one of my favorite chapters ever. Oh,
what time is that?
11 Central. 11 Central. We've been going through the entire Lord of the Rings chapter by chapter, and we finally reached this point, which is an amazing, amazing moment. So we will be doing that on my channel this Saturday morning. Also, on Monday night, I have the double pick. It's going to be video games this time. Video games. On Tuesday, the Fantasy Tavern, me, Steve Kenobi, and Lady Gravemaster will be talking about Indiana Jones.
Woo!
Yeah. So please go ahead and tune in to all of those. I appreciate you all. And have a great evening. Have a great evening. And be certain to never mention snow in the presence of Biggles.